every opportunity if I ever get to do it again. So I just have a short little something I'm going to say about Tim and Tom to give you some perspective, albeit some personal perspective on how I know these gentlemen, who I know them to be as people, and then we'll give them the piece of hardware and celebrate them all together. So, while there is still some debate about what exact date our agency was officially born, Tim, I know you know, but don't tell us. We know quite confidently it was just over 22 years ago. And longevity in this business, more and more, is a very difficult thing. It is a very hard thing, and we should be very proud of longevity and never make excuses for the next new hot thing. However, whether it was the second Tuesday of the 8th month, or the third Monday of the 9th month, or the 5th day after the harvest moon, there is no debate that Rodgers Townsend is a special place founded by extraordinary gentlemen. And love us or hate us, as a rival shop or a competing agency, if you've met these guys, it's impossible to hate them. Very likable fellow. Recently, as I reflected on Tim and Tom and their impact on me personally, I'll make it personal, and more importantly for St. Louis, there's an expression they'd often use that would drive me insane in my early years as a young, volatile, occasionally precious writer. This is a noble cause. We're fighting the good fight. After another successful pitch, a production, or a payable receipt, right? We're making more money, we're doing good, we're rolling on. They would often toast the moment with the words, "Keep the lie alive." This offended me, I'll be honest. I shouldn't have to point out the ridiculous irony of that statement. I've got to take this sweater off, I'm hot.
Can you hold it for a second?
That's great. How come look at me like that? Yes, well, you guys just say that shirt's man,
So keep the lie alive. Keep the lie alive, question mark, right? In my humble opinion, RT is the farthest thing from a lie I have ever experienced. Admittedly, I'm biased, you guys, but to me, RT is the truth, RT is the example, and RT is the bar. And Tim and Tom set it impossibly high. You guys deserve a lot of credit for that. You have incredible integrity. You taught that and you ingrained that in all the people who ever worked with you. You changed people's lives. You saw them grow up. You saw them have families of their own. And that's an incredible thing. It's a precious thing. It's a Midwestern value thing. And I can't thank you guys enough for that. So I'll continue my speech now. So as Tom makes his miraculous comeback and continues his incredible commitment to Pianos for People, as Tim is still finding his retirement rhythm, learning to play the piano, and becoming the best big brother to an 8-year-old named Cleveland?
Yeah.
All right, good job. This is a pair of extraordinary gentlemen. They are an ongoing, in the flesh, day-to-day, day-in, day-out example that we should keep caring about the work that we do as much as we care about the people that we do the work with. While it was never about the fame, there's no one more worthy of the Hall of Fame. It's not a Lifetime Achievement Award, it's about the life and a life well lived. While keeping the lie alive was a famous refrain, it was never a lie, gentlemen. So Tim and Tom.
I lost him. Where'd he go?
Right here.
There he is.
All right, gentlemen. You can say some stuff, but let's get a picture first. You bet.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And before they step on, let's give a round of applause to our sponsor as well. Make this the best possible. Get that all their respective Sure. Mike, these three down. Let's get a.
I'm out. Any of you guys want to chat?
Yep. Let's take care of just these three.
You want a photo?
Yeah.
I'm not Rodgers Townsend. I'm just a guy with an RT hat.
Where are all the birds? You are, Rodgers.
Some more orphan they picked up on the street.
I'm frozen here.
You'll have to post it because I'll never get these kids stuff.
I need to make two really quick notes. That's too much. You just pick up keys.
Big glasses.
It's always better. Now I'm up with it. The louder I talk, the more drunk I'm going to sound. Yeah. So I need to ask you to either come in a little bit or to understand where the line is between the old-fashioned and my surgery. We'll see whether or not this time next year my S's are more distinct from my SH's. There's so many things that I want to say but can't, and I will hopefully at some point be able to make some points to everybody here who means so much to me. I would be remiss to not thank Tim for making this whole career possible.
I was his 13th choice. Right? I won't at my retirement. But go ahead.
And I can't thank my wife Jean enough for not only getting me to this point, but to the point I was 2 months ago. I want to bring your attention real quick to, there are two people here who you may not know, but you might want to know. One is my nephew, Drew McCrae. Drew, hold up your hand in the back. He is a new account person. Hey, Drew. I'll explain that laughter later. We'll meet later and I'll tell you all about that. And also there's a new guy in this market coming from the production side, the advertising, named Alex. He looks like Greg Allman. Hold up your hand. So you may want to, if you get a second, just to stop and say, hey, what are you into right now regarding your work networking and that kind of thing. It would be very St. Louis-like if we did that. The only thing beyond that I had to say was that everybody, especially at such events as this, when there's this concept of a lifetime of achievement, which is, we can all, I'm very proud of that, but all the jokes rise quickly around, oh, your life is over. If I'm stealing any of your material, and at such events, the person being honored gives all kinds of advice to everybody else as if they're 20 years old. This crowd has people of all ages, at all stages of careers. And instead of saying things like, make sure that your portfolio is great, make sure that you take a stand with your clients, make sure that you walk away from a client if the ad isn't perfect the way you want it, or give the client whatever they want because they are all that matters in the world. All of those things that you might hear in a moment like this. What I'm left with to say is that on your career journey, whether you are 19, 20, or my F's aren't good yet, 40.
So say 60.
40. 60.
Easy fix.
If you're a young buck copywriter at 60, then this real applies to you as well. But as you track your career path and make decisions at every step, your portfolio, your client list, all that stuff is really important, obviously. But you're going to get to a point where the most important thing to you will be quality of life. And the number one thing to me, having worked with Tim, having worked with RT people over the years, I can say this forever and ever with no equivocation. The objective should be to put yourself in a position where ultimately you're working with people who you love. That makes a really big difference. When you're in that situation, your work is better right off the bat. The work shows that. Your clients are happier because they want to be a part of that. You win more awards, which to me is highly, highly important. And the priority I bring to every job I'm on. Recruiting gets a lot easier because they see this culture and they say, I want to be in that family. And that family. You know, one of the words that I had to practice was buttercup. Really early on, I learned in my hospital bed that I can still say fuck. And we all know that what's beautiful about that, what's profound about that, is if you were going to come out of surgery in 12 days of a nap with some horrid dreams in it, and somebody is going to wake you up and say, you're not going to be talking very well for a while, and we don't know how long that while is. When you realize you can say the word fuck, you go, I've got a noun, a verb, and I've got the whole dictionary as long as I have fuck. For several days I had to keep walking around the house going, buttercup, buttercup, buttercup. So since my buttercups are always awesome, you can hear a few more of those problems. But not only if you find the place to work where you love the people you're working with, genuinely. And we all know that on one hand, we already love a lot of the people we work with because advertising people tend to give other people the benefit of the doubt. It's our nature. It's our nature to believe in the next person. Sometimes, whether it's politics or client issues, you stop loving the people you're working with. Now, and consider that up there with the list of the other stuff. The quality of the work, the quality of the client budget, the quality of whatever it is that, especially as a very young person, that you put at a high priority. At some point, put it in the back of your head that you got to start looking for people you love to go to work with every day, and make sure that that surfaces also. The work will get better, the clients will be happier, and one day when you really need it, you realize you have a family that will come to your side no matter what. Because advertising people are like that, and I appreciate that you guys did that for me. I'm here now because Gene got me through my 12-day nap. Tim got me from my nap to my feet. You guys got me here tonight, and I have more surgeries coming up, potentially worse than the ones I've had. But knowing what I have, because I was in the advertising industry in St. Louis the last 3 years, gives me confidence. Confidence. So thank you all so much. This means an awful lot.
You have to get shot in the face first. You have to get shot in the face first.
I was going to say, I'm really blown away by the reaction.
Oh!
humbled that everybody, I know you've all been wondering how I've been doing. I've been retired. A lot of people told me they're surprised at how good I look. Wondering if I'd be slurring my words and shit like that. So, I do also want to say to Mary Beth and Jean, thank you for being here. Patty, are you going to have to leave again?
Sorry.
But
I thought you were going somewhere else again.
they both feel like we don't get enough recognition. And I'm really glad to see that finally that we're getting a little bit of recognition. So, as Tom said, I did think that this whole notion, I mean, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but this whole idea of lifetime achievement seemed a little presumptuous. My brother reminded me the other day that my dad started an airline when he was 65.
Oh, God.
And Tom...
It did not do well. But he was a really smart guy. There were market conditions.
Yeah, God rest his soul. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but Tom, as you can guess, Tom has a mission to Malawi. Tom has a food bank in the Philippines, and he's just starting painting for people. So he'll be hitting for more donations. You can expect another accident of some kind, because that's the way that he likes to raise money.
It's a hell of a fundraising stuff.
So, what occurred to me, in this community, we're kind of known as the Lords of Lucite. And what we really would like to be remembered for something beyond that, which Tom kind of touched on. Tom said, this will not shock anyone. Tom said, yeah, I'll probably just say a little something. So, if I had a ring then, it would look like Christmas here. But one of the things that when Mike was talking about is, gee, you're nice guys. And one of the things I appreciated that Mike's saying is, you don't get to where we are by being nice guys. That should be something you expect from people, but not something that should be applauded. So Santa appreciates that this time of the year, but really it's a lot more than that. And what Tom got to, the achievement that we're proudest of, and Mike and Andrew and everybody else has really kept this, is bringing together a genuine family of high achievers. That's what it is. And I think if I think of, and I've had now a year and a half to really think about it, that I loved going to work every day. And I really believe most people here, I hope that's true, I think that we all felt that way. We wanted to be together, we had a great time together, and what we looked for, some of the RT people, who I realize are most of the people, and all of the people wearing bad sweaters except for Peter and Jake. We're all RT. And the reason why I'm not in one of those sweaters is because no one would be quite sure whether I really thought that was a bad sweater, or whether it's just me being style challenged, which has always been a problem. So, what we tried to do is hire characters with character. We had more rights than rules. We preached that every challenge was an opportunity to create something, which I think Tom touched on. I think that was a big part of it. And one of the things that I've thought a lot about over the last year and a half is really unleashing the special talents of each individual. So, but beyond being great advertising people and being great people, everybody has something that they love to do that we try to take advantage of, and that's what makes us different. But our real secret sauce, if you want to think about it, is Tom and I have talked about this, what really drove the place, and I think still does, is we didn't want to let each other down. It wasn't about clients, it wasn't about budgets, it wasn't about deadlines. What really made the place go is nobody wanted to let the other people in the agency down. So, I know this is supposed to be for the students, so the two, but I don't think there's any of them here. So I'm assuming this will be on YouTube or possibly CBS News. If I can somehow tie it into Tom's accident, I think we can.
I'll be doing a TED Talk tomorrow. It's called Body Copies Should Not Contain Bullets.
So it's kind of hard to bring this back around. So I'll do, you know what? What I'll say, because Tom can say it too, fuck the students. None of them are here. We're all going to give them money, but does anybody really care about the students? I don't think so. Frankly, they're all out for your job. So let's skip the student part. But what I did want to say is, when you think about lifetime achievement, in all seriousness, you look no further than my partner and really my hero right here. Then finding beauty and creating beauty in all things, sometimes under unimaginable circumstances, is the real bar to aspire to and the lesson to learn from with what you can achieve with your life. And the qualities that help Tom achieve in advertising, what you're all familiar with, are the same things that make him such a remarkable example beyond that. Energy, empathy, curiosity, resilience, and heart. So,
That cannot go unchallenged. I've said this before, so some of you have heard this before, but you've never heard it with this accent. When I was at Darcy, Tim joked earlier.
just say fuck.
That he was my 13th choice, right?
I was very best 12th.
The only coincidental truth to that is that until I met Tim, I had been asking people for years, you know, and they all had some excuse such as, "I'm going to the beach this weekend." So, but when I was at Darcy, Tim was the guy who everybody knew to be the wonderkind, who no one was thinking in terms in those days of leaving the structure place except for Bob Coachman. Nobody was thinking about starting their own agency because it was all about being with the biggest company you could find. And when I texted Tim about that, and he said, "Yeah, maybe we should," I was like, "Whoa!" And I will, just so this doesn't turn into too much of a love fest, I'll say one thing and then tell a very short story. The one thing I was going to say is that once Tim and I started working together, the things I learned from him that were not about advertising, even though there was a lot, was centered around ethics on a level that even I, the most ethical person I know. Tim would say, "We're not going to do that." And I'd say, "Well, last time I was at an Ag Club meeting, they said that they mark up things." He goes, "We're not marking up things. They're either paying by the hour or they're not. If they're paying by the hour, we're not going to mark it up because they're paying us already by the hour. If we're not charging by the hour, we'll mark things up, but that's not our model." And I said, "Well, Bruce Cupper said it." I know. So,
Let's see, how many people used to work at Copper here?
So, there's nothing that Tim said about me that is not obviously my feelings about him. And now the short little story. When I saw this event on my calendar, it popped up one day on my calendar. I was at one of my doctor appointments, and we were at this stage, not that we're past it at all yet, but at this point, about 3 weeks ago, the doctor says, "Are you still drinking your smoothies? Are they still packed with protein? Can I hear you say buttercup?" Yes, buttercup. And finally, at the end of this consult, we call it freelance. They call it a consult, and they can charge a lot more for that. I said to him, let me ask you something. How do you feel about me drinking alcohol? Knowing what was on my calendar. You know. And he goes, I think that you could do that. Tell me, what are you thinking? Why not yet? What are you thinking? And I said, well, I know you want this mouth or these stitches to heal, and that we're in a hurry for that to heal so we can make the next decision. And I know that alcohol negatively impacts one's immune system. And he looks at me and he says, how much alcohol are we talking about? So, with that, thank you so much. Have some alcohol.